could be, might be C++ polymorphism, or and you get a whole hit list that's like about a mile long, and you don't know which one is the latest and recent. You can't do. Some of it might be from Stack Overflow, some of it might be from some someone else's opinion. And especially with the recent release of C++ 11, a lot of that stuff is now really outdated. Has anyone ever heard of C++ FQA? Not FAQ, FQA. Thank you. Frequently questioned answers. Okay. Now, this guy created this fact, and I went over it with some other people and at the standard, and we feel that this is about 25, almost 50% misinformation, 25% outdated information, and there's maybe about 10 or 15% information that might have been correct about 10 years ago, but has now been actively been corrected by the new standard, as well as by new libraries out there. So I would really love to have some sort of answer to this FQA. If somebody's looking for a topic to talk about, I would love to have somebody work on a rebuttal on some of these issues. No compile time encapsulation, outstandingly complicated grammar, no way to locate definition. I mean, come on, really? I mean, no runtime encapsulation, no binary implementation, no reflection. I mean, just looking down this way, you can kind of start seeing that half of this stuff just simply isn't true, or misinformed, or misguided. And yet this fact is on the web, okay? Now, of course, that's the nature of the web. You can put anything there, you know? Nobody says it's true or not. So what's the reason for doing this? Well, we have both modern C++ guidelines, portable C++ libraries. So the thing is, with old information, there's bad and misinformation. There seems to be a lack of transparency because there are aging reflectors that are going on. Some of those have now been discontinued, by the way, some of those old reflectors, and new reflectors are going to be put up. Okay, there's a lack of guidance. Okay, we have new needs for migration information from C++ 98, C#, Java, new books and articles. Okay, on this website, that's what they're going to do. They're going to start putting up some of the books that are free from Pearson Publishing. Pearson has agreed to put up C++ FAQ 2011. That's right, not the old one, but the author of that book, I forget his name now. Let me see. Is it on my list somewhere? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, Marshall Klein. They agreed to publish this book on the web free of charge now, and he's almost finished updating that book. Okay, this is the fantastic agreement we got with Pearson Publishing. They are also publishing about the first 10 pages of Beyond his new book. Okay, his updated version 4 book, the C++ programming language, you know, that famous TCPL, you know. So what else? On a lot of websites, there's high latency, there's slow feedbacks. We want to know how to learn to write something. It's not, you know, a computer science course. And finally, we've been talking about that, the C++ standard, which is what is wrong with the language development that it is now. It's fantastic in so many ways, but what are we missing? What we're missing are libraries. We made that conclusion even before we started trying to do this. And people would put in a few libraries, but most people by and large want to submit language features. But what we need are things like the Qt library, what we need are things like the Poco library, what we need are things like network library, all of the special libraries, the SIMD library that I just ran over to listen to, you know, what was the previous library that, you know, that was talked about, sorry? That's right, thank you. So that's what we need, and this is a place to put those libraries. This is different than Boost. Boost is about a peer review, highly efficient, multi-cross-platform library collection. This is not that. The library may not be cross-platform, it might not be super peer review, but yet it's a starting point from which you can generate more comments and eventually evolve it into a better library. Okay, so that's what's going on here. Okay, so moving forward. So as you can see, the website went live. I've known about it for quite some time now. And in here, you're going to be able to do things. Oh, it does work. It's going to have blogs, videos, events, a form, and a standardization process so people can know what's going on with the standardization. The various events. I've been trying to get this event up on it, but I just haven't been able to, even though I'm the director. Something on the technology still needs human beings to achieve. So there's going to be a blog pages, blogs, wiki form on all these things. You know, it's going to be seeded for free with commercial quality content, including the latest book from C++ FAQ. The newest book from Sutter on C++ coding guideline. That alone is probably worth. And major excerpts from Beyond's brand new C++ TCKL 4. Okay? And the beauty about the site is it's going to be formatted perfectly for almost any offline device that you can name. Because you know how we actually learn C++? For most of you and me who's become super busy, we learn it in 15-minute sessions on the train, on the way to work, between sessions, while I'm eating lunch. Believe it or not, I've gone beyond the stage where I actually have more than half an hour time sitting down actually reading a whole chapter. I'm reading it on the plane, while I'm waiting for the departure. That means that a lot of the stuff can be downloaded, formatted perfectly for something like Insta, what's that thing called Insta Print, where you can download website contents and just read it offline. Okay, it's going to look nice. Okay, that's what's revolutionary about this, I think. There's going to be a rollout in this, so we're in version 1 rollout right now. Later on, we're going to have version 2 rollout, including the library store, the library repository I'm talking about, and then we're going to add a public with all the WG21 subgroups are going to be on there. My subgroup is already there because I decided to go with ISOCP.org right away for transactional memory discussion. We can see all the discussion that's going on with transactional memory. And I'm hoping maybe in the future there will be a place, wouldn't it be nice, even though IBM is probably the last one that will allow me to do this, because IBM is one of the super secret companies, wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could just go to one place and press a button and they have to try out all the different compilers? Wouldn't that be nice? That's my dream. Now we have it in different places of different qualities. For true universal portability, that's what we really want. And you know what? Ultimately, it's almost like the judges, they're rendering an opinion on whether this code construct is correct or not. It's not saying this is absolute, because at the end of the day, it's just like the law. It's super complex. It requires 12 judges to pass an opinion, and at the end of the day, you do a count of the vote and see who's right. That's actually how decisions are made, actually, even at the standing committee level, right? You look at the core committee, and it's essentially like 12 priests sitting there. Nobody says a word. You go in there, and it's total silence, and everyone's staring at this book. And suddenly someone will point their fingers up. Oh, this contradicts section 14.3.12. And someone will say, no, section 3.356 says this. No, I disagree. Section 367, paragraph 8 says that it should be like this. And I'm still following what the first guy said in terms of which section is that. I don't know how they memorize all this stuff, but they do. That's the nature of the core committee. The evolution committee, where I tend to live out, is more like Parliament. We must have this feature. We will go to war if you don't have this feature. People are jumping on tables, making elaborate speeches. No, I'm just exaggerating, but to some extent, the library is kind of like that too. So, hopefully, in the phase 2 rollout, we might have something like that. So I think phase 3 is just talking about more acquisitions with packages and studio. I'm not really sure what he's saying there, but. There are things we have to have sponsors to handle money, so there's like different levels of sponsorships, gold, silver, and bronze, or something like that. It's like $10,000 for gold, you know. So the sponsor essentially just provides the money so that this website keeps running and contributors keep contributing. It's still non-profit. You're going to need a place to hold the copyrights and license of all these blogs and published materials. And these are current sponsors. Okay, what else is there? These are the, so there used to be this constant C++, okay? They're gone. They're not, that's why we need something like this. And it's going to be replaced by these guys. And like I said, the first group, my group, is already posted through that. Okay? So, if you want to go to some place like, and we're going to start hosting more of the discussions from the standard committee, the active issues list of the core language group and the library language groups on GitHub, which can be accessed through this site. Okay? Logs from different events. Okay, so that's it, I think. And this is actually some of the paper discussions that we've in terms of the motivation of this group. Any kind of questions and discussions? I'm going to close off with this one slide, which is about why C++ succeeded, because I've always found it interesting when I look at this, is what people say. There's always two camps of opinion, and I want to make sure I said it right in terms of what people think. I think C++ succeeded because of these reasons, not because of these reasons. Some people will come up and say, oh, it's because it's good luck. I'm amazed at how often I hear that claim. I absolutely fail to understand how people can imagine that we're involved with C++. But by pure luck, basically repeatedly provide services that are preferred by millions of systems folks. I just can't understand it. Other people have said AT&T's marketing might. They had no marketing might. Their marketing budget was $500, and they pretty much stopped after the very first release. Okay. So you take a look at this. For me personally, I'm most interested because C++ continues to evolve. There's no language out there that I am aware of. Well, to some extent, now that I'm involved with OpenMP, I can see that too. Where there's an active research group who's actively pushing it and injecting new ideas into it. I found that that's actually really interesting. It's not just a bunch of stale old vendors like me sitting together trying to protect our turf. I don't do that myself because I'm interested in the evolution of the language myself. But it's because they're both the vendors who are providing the stability, the users who are providing the push towards the newest things, and the researchers who are providing the leap forward. I think those three components are vital to any language's survival for the long run, and I hope it keeps going. Thank you. That's it.
The board of the C++ Foundation, it's been bootstrapped, which of course makes sense, but I'm just wondering how new board members will be chosen and how that's going to evolve.
Good question. Right now the board consists of Iana, Greg Sutter, Stefanos Dufoy from Intel, Beeman Dawes, who is an independent consultant who's very, very well respected in the community. He's a Boost starter. Chandler Carew from Google, and myself from IBM. So I think what's going on there is that they want to spread the board out so that it's a representative from every respected cornerstone of the community to some extent. How it's chosen, so this is how things work with a board, and I have been familiar with that recently because I have a board of directors too for OpenMP. Basically, once this initial set is chosen, they get, each person probably go for like a 3-year term on a rotating basis. So every year someone will come up for renewal. Maybe 2 people will come up for renewal. And then at that point, either they're renewed by a majority vote, or a new person gets suggested to replace that person on the board who might wish to leave, or they might get booted out. That does happen. So I think that's what will happen. But generally, I think being in the community, we're going to know who's going to be that kind of, at that level where there are people that have been around and trusted, not basically controversial people. I think boards generally don't want a hugely controversial figure on it. That might be wrong. Yeah, but that's a good question. Other thoughts? Thoughts about how you could help with this organization? I highly suggest you all just sign in and just be a member. It's free to be a member, so that you get news and things like that. Go ahead.
Short question. In your plan for version 2 library storage, do you tend to keep only free libraries or is it commercial?
Obviously, not commercial.
Or-
We still have to respect some kind of license things of the artist, so it cannot have any kind of commercial application, internal things to it. So it will be free libraries. I don't know how exactly it will be hosted. That's probably going to be discussed in the next board meeting event. But there is, so the big intention there is to really get a lot of, and a lot of corporations have already signed up to contribute their library for free. So break out of that commercial licensing into some sort of common licensing so that it can be, and then non-viral as well too. That's the number one requirement for almost everything here, is it has to be non-viral.
Will you host all good and important videos on C++ on that?
Videos?
Yes,
Absolutely.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're trying to make this a central place for the good and important videos that reflect current post C++ 11 programming styles. So I suspect some of these will go on as soon as we get. I apologize. I've been trying to get this event up. But like I said, bureaucracy can be many layers. So yes, I think we will. This way, it will supplant the many videos that you find on YouTube and places like that. Where it's just, you're not really sure how old these videos are and how accurate they are. So you spend a lot of time watching it and go, is this true or not? So yes, I think so.
That's a good start to learn C++. So it's good to have videos.
Yes, yeah. Some videos are already up, in fact, right now.
Oh, that's good.
There's no questions.
Hier schon eine.
Do you plan to integrate other existing communities? So, like the Stack Overflow C++ community, so to say? Because you have, I think, for the moment, separate forums, and the people from Stack Overflow won't do the move, I think, so easily, and integrating them in such a way that other service.
It would be nice. We can't control what people are going to do or say to Stack Overflow. We have absolutely no linkage with Stack Overflow. That discussion will continue no matter what. We're just trying to slowly push more people to come to this place as the definitive final place. Because Stack Overflow is a nice model. It's what's called the gamification model. It's almost like a game, isn't it? You push the button to make your popularity go up, and you push it to make it go down. That's how we figured it out. This is how you can pull people around. Not to say that's a bad model, it's pretty good. But is it definitive? Is it really definitive? And I found some answers there. I'm thinking, this might be the popular answer, but I don't think this is the right answer. Stack Overflow operates on popular vote, not necessarily on a definitive vote. Hope that answers your question. I'm not really sure.
No, we could extend it with approved from Charles Foster or someone.
You notice that most of us almost never go on Stack Overflow. Well, not because we hate it, I love it myself, but we just don't have the time. We're super busy with it. Just like many of you are already super busy, and will become more super busy as you get more and more involved in this world.
I have one question on the website for more or less younger developers. Usually they prefer to read the tutorials in their own language, in this case German.
Yes.
How about this?
Great idea. Great idea. We don't have that. We don't have that idea. Thank you very much for mentioning that. I thought about that too myself, but I forgot it. I have so many things going on. Because internationalization is a key item for IBM. Every day we go out, there's like 20 countries for publications. That always annoyed me, but now I understand why. But you're absolutely right. Having this in native languages like German, because some of the younger developers may not be, multilingual already. I'm always impressed, by the way, how multilingual all Germans are that I meet. So, thank you very much. I mean, I should be speaking German. I really should be speaking English, and I would if my German were better. I'm trying. But I think we will take that suggestion to heart. And in the next board meeting, I will recommend that. I will give you the credit, Sasha. Thank you.
So coming back to that staleness of content that you also see on Stack Overflow, which hasn't been up that long. So how are you going to maintain that side? you're also saying that none of us has really time for this, but someone needs to groom the content regularly to remove old stuff or just mark it as no longer valid.
That's right.
So
It's a really insightful question. You obviously have experience with dealing with this kind of stuff. Would you be interested in the? I'm not joking, by the way. That's how we do it. That's how we plan to do it. All these sponsors paying $10,000, that money is going to some place. So that money is going to a hired staff to do these kinds of grooming, as you say, pruning, so that old content do not become a permanent thing, and it becomes so that the site becomes stale. So we already have like 6 or 7 or 10 gold sponsors, something like a bunch of minor ones and things like that. OpenMP is sponsoring it, for instance. And that's where the money is going to go. We will be hiring a staff of people, of web bloggers and developers, and I don't know what they're called anyway. But they're going to do, that's the work they will do. Absolutely. Okay. Good discussion, good thought. Anything else that you guys want to talk about with ISO-CPP.com? Okay. There's a lot going on in the world right now with C++, especially with the new ratifications, the impending delivery of major compiler releases on iPad and everything. And ISO-CPP.org. I'm so excited. The world is converging in so many ways, especially with parallel programming, all the different parallel programs. It's pretty clear to me that there's a lot of interest this week on parallel programming and accelerate. And I could have talked a lot more about that because that's the other part of my life in terms of in that term. So go ahead, thanks.
There's a lot of us that have a Qt background and
Have a what? Qt background.
Right.
Okay.
That's what we do.
It's probably because of this area. I suspect Vodafone has a huge some sort of development facility here. So is that the case?
Don't think so. It was Nokia or Qt now. It's a company called Digi, but it's an open source project, and people from Intel and ourselves, might be interested in having some kind of voice in standardization of C++,
Yeah.
or possibly a voice in the ISO-CPP Foundation. So,
Okay.
as it's just a regular open source project, that's something that would be possible, and also to boost, as an organization, would they be able to get a voice in there?
So it sounds like what you're saying, and just to make sure I heard it right, is that you're saying maybe it shouldn't be just the senior level people of C++ that have a voice. It really should have a voice from different communities, as well as people who are just beginning, learners, teachers.
And library writers, yeah.
And library writers. Okay. I think that's a great thought. I don't know how that's going to work out. Like I said, I've only been involved in this really for like the last 6 months, and I'm still sort of feeling it out to see how it's. I'm going to remember that. Please send me some of these things, these questions, on my card, because I will forget it when I leave this conference, because I'm heading to Salt Lake City for supercomputing, and I have a huge agenda. That's not your fault. Please send me these good questions, okay, so that you can I have more of these things, I think. I'm not a manager or marketing guy, and I rarely need business cards, but now I'm certainly finding the need for them a lot, for various odd reasons and whatsoever. Send me these questions so that I can remember them, because otherwise I will forget. It's just that kind of thing where I just hit all over the place with stuff.
No, I'm Michael Wong.
Yes, no, you can be this one too. You can be my doppelganger, because I certainly need one. Okay, so your idea is that it's like a parliament. There should be not just the House of Lords, but it's not to say Lords. There's also should be the House of Representatives, where there should be injection of ideas from the people who are in certain islands of communities. That's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'll try to remember to mention that at the directors meeting next month. I don't know how it's going. Like I said, we're just feeling it out right now, and it's developing, and that certainly seems to make a lot of sense to me. Okay.
One last thing. Just on my website, I know from the feedback that description how to install a compiler, how to use it. But the first steps are the most important things, because this is often forgotten in tutorials and books. They just start with a hello world, and they have really a problem to install the compiler to understand how this thing works, what exactly to do with this. And so we have a lot of descriptions for several compilers, for the GCC, for Visual Studio, and so on, how to start. And this is quite important for most beginners. Under the description how to connect to another library, because at the end of a lot of tutorials and books, you will know what how to express something with C++, but you don't know how to connect to another library.
Okay.
This is quite often a problem for young beginners.
I agree. Often that first step is actually the one that stops everybody mid-track. I wanted to learn some C++ tonight, but I took me half an hour to figure out how to install this compiler and fire it out. I didn't come from the Microsoft world. I come from this big, 200,000 CPU world. It took me, believe it or not, as easy as Microsoft makes everything, it took me about an hour, and I'm somewhat of an expert in this area, before I finally figured out, navigated all the different options and little hot buttons I had to push for me to finally create a Microsoft executable. And partly it's because it's not command line, because my framework is totally different. And I had to run this under this Windows command window, That's what took me about an hour before I finally figured out which button do I press to create this tiny one little thing to run. And yeah, I can certainly see how that is. If you're coming from a different world, something else is obvious. And I'm sure this is obvious to anyone who's living in Windows. And I'm not saying Windows is doing bad, but they do a great job. The compiler is fantastic. I still learn off of it. I still use it as practice code sometimes because it's just really fast. But it took me a while before I figured out how to get one thing to compile. I mean, now that I know, no one is called. I'll try to remember that too. Please add that to the list of things that you want to say. Any other things? It's a great time. I think it's a great time for where we're going, and it's a great time for innovations and for your contributions as well too. Thank you very much. Keep looking keep an eye on it. This user group ideas are fantastic. I think we really do more to get involved. Thank you. This is an absolutely fantastic conference in my mind. I really used to go to conferences and come back to listen to talks because I just have so much work to do. But some of the talks are very high quality, immediately relevant, which is what I care about. Okay? Which is why in my keynote I looked through the talks and I said, you know what, these are relevant talks, and I wanted to point to them, why these were relevant by trying to set an overall framework. So that people are looking at it and go, okay, yeah, now I see why I should make, Thank you very much.